You're listening to the Sales Success Stories podcast, where we deconstruct world-class sales performers to provide insights and strategies to help you improve. To learn more, visit us at top1.fm. Here's your host, Scott Ingram.
Welcome to this special bonus episode of the Sales Success Stories podcast, where I'm excited to announce that we are well on our way to publishing a book called, appropriately enough, Sales Success Stories. As I record this, 21 of the top 1% sales professionals that you've listened to on this podcast have agreed to contribute their own stories. And when all is said and done, we'll probably have somewhere in the neighborhood of 75 stories in this collection. There will be stories about deals won, deals lost, their biggest successes and their biggest failures, all the foundational experiences and real life examples that have helped form the philosophies and approaches that have gotten them to the top. And we remember stories so much better than the preachy, do this, do that type of instruction that you find in so many other sales books. The goal here is to provide something for everyone who's in B2B sales, no matter the stage. So you'll read early career lessons to learnings that come from much more experience. And right now, you can take part in the crowdfunding campaign and participate in a variety of pre-purchase opportunities, whether you want the ebook, the paperback book, the audio book, or all of the above. Also, everyone who contributes at least $50 to this campaign will be publicly thanked in the book in all formats. So to take advantage of that opportunity, just go to top1.fm/book anytime before July 20th when the campaign ends. But I hope you won't wait that long. You should do it right now. That's top1.fm/book, BOOK. This will be the first in a series of bonus episodes that will feature between the regular interview episodes that you're used to. So there will probably be 9 or 10 of these until the book is published in October. And in each of these episodes, I'm going to bring you one of those stories so you can get a really good taste of what we're up to. The goal is to have all of the stories in the book read by that story's author. So when we put them all together in the audiobook, we'll be able to say that the book is read by the authors. So, without any further ado, here's your first taste.
I'm 6'4" and devilishly handsome by Trong and I. When you talk to sales managers or VP of sales, they always ask the same questions. Do you have relationships with the CXO? What's your relationship with the CXO? How can you close that deal without the CXO support? These questions are not wrong. I just don't think they're very helpful. If they just pivot a little bit, the whole conversation changes. What I would ask is, how can we develop relationships with the CXO? When you start asking that question, it lends itself to deeper thought and introspection. Most sales reps take a very binary approach to relationships, on or off. They either have these relationships or they don't, at least in their minds. Invariably, this perspective leads them down a linear approach to addressing the issue. If they don't have a relationship with the CXO, then they go out of their way to build that relationship directly. They invite the CXO to social events, dinners, and whatever else they can in the hopes that these bonding moments will lead to future sales. Direct strategies are useful in certain situations, but not all of them. I would submit that there may be a better way to build these executive relationships. Instead of going at it head on, I want to provide you with a framework in which to think about how you can develop and influence your relationships. This framework is applicable in your personal life as well as your business life. It's applicable whether you are a customer-facing sales representative or if your work function is internal-facing. In the 1960s, industrial psychologists David Merrill and Roger Reed did an extensive study around dimensions of assertiveness and responsiveness. From that study, they came up with a 2x2 matrix outlining 4 social styles: analytical, driving, expressive, and amiable. When I first read the study, I wept for days. I was overcome with joy. Forget SpaceX or Tesla, this revelation was akin to Elon Musk harnessing his brilliance in physics and engineering to find a way to create hickory-smoked bacon out of thin air. Here's the practical application of this theory. Step 1. Perform a personality analysis on the CXO, senior executive, or any person you want to build a relationship with and place them in one of the 4 quadrants. Step 2. Then, look at all of the people that influence that person. Do a personality analysis on those people and place them into the appropriate quadrants. Step 3. Now think about all of the people that influence the people that influence the client. Do a personality analysis on those people and place them into the right quadrants. Step 4. Complete a relationship alignment exercise. Find the right people in your organization to connect to all of those people you have identified and start building relationships with those people. Here's the execution of the process in visual form. Over time, what you have essentially done is executed a complete surround strategy. The main reason why this strategy works is because you are not dependent on one person for success or failure. In our highly matrix world, decisions are made by committees or groups of people. That's why this strategy has been so successful. I was working with a global manufacturing company based in Chicago and executed this strategy to build the right relationships with the global CIO. Along the way, I had built relationships with the VP of Architecture, SVP of Operations, SVP of Infrastructure, etc. It took me 6 months and I hadn't spent any time with the global CIO at all. Instead of shooting for the moon right away, I first built a ladder to the clouds. By now, I had solved numerous complex issues for this company and built up my brand as a creative problem solver and Mr. Fix-It. It didn't matter if you had hardware issues, software issues, etc. With some duct tape, vinegar, and a pair of chopsticks, I could make MacGyver look bad. I completely influenced those who would influence the global CIO. With reputation in hand, I asked the Chief Technology Officer to introduce me to the global CIO. When I went into the meeting, she said something to me that I will never forget. She said, "Trong, after all the great stories I had heard about you, I just pictured you would be 6'4" and devilishly handsome." I told her I was. It was the start of an enduring and beneficial relationship. Lessons learned. Lesson number 1. Developing senior executive relationships takes time. Focus on strategies that develop these long-term relationships. Like all relationships, trust is earned and is earned over time. Lesson number 2. If an executive tells you how powerful they are in the company, they aren't. The only ones that tell you that are the insecure ones who aren't really the decision makers. Einstein didn't have to go around telling people how smart he was. You just knew. Lesson number 3. Be genuine and authentic. Smart people will see right through people who aren't genuine. If you don't like sports, don't pretend to be a sports fan just to impress a customer. Find some other common ground to build a relationship on. Lesson number 4. Influence those who would influence the relationships you want to develop. Lesson number 5. Do a personality analysis to understand the person you want to develop a relationship with so that you understand their motivations and what makes them tick. Lesson number 6. Use multiple approaches for building relationships. These include direct, indirect, and surround strategies. Lesson number 7. Focus on adding value, as that will be the foundation for long-term relationships. Lesson number 9. Integrity is a non-negotiable. Work only with people of integrity. Stay clear of those who are morally ambiguous. Lesson number 10. Leadership styles and approaches change over time. A leader who was good in a particular time and situation may not be suited for others. This is Trong Nguyen, and thank you for listening to this story.
A huge thanks to Trong for sharing the first story from the coming Sales Success Stories book. Again, to pre-purchase, you can head over to top1.fm/book. We will also be offering additional preview content and bonus stories to those who are subscribed to the newsletter. You can get on that list from any page on top1.fm, or if you're in the US, you can text top1 to 444-999. That's TOP and the number 1 with no spaces to 444-999, or again, just go to top1.fm. Also, Trong and I will be on stage together at the Enterprise Sales Forum in New York City on Tuesday, June 18th. If you're in the area, I hope you'll join us. You can find the details and register at top1.fm/ESF-NYC, as in Enterprise Sales Forum, New York City. And Trong has promised to bring some copies of his own book, Winning the Cloud. I'm not sure how many he'll have, but if you're able to join us, come up to me during the event and mention that you listened to the podcast. The first few people to do that will get a copy of Trong's book, and it'll be really fun to meet some of you in person at that event. Again, your registration link is top1.fm/ESF-NYC. Until next time, go out there and start creating your own sales success story. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to the Sales Success Stories podcast. To be sure you never miss an episode, and for an invitation to our sales success community powered by Influitive, subscribe to our newsletter at top1.fm.